to be here today with you all. And we are recording this. I just wanted to double check.
Okay.
Great. So, my name is Filippa, and we are going to dive in to my favorite topic, which is healing and healing your pelvic floor. So any questions you have for me, please post them in the chat, or you can also, of course, come online, at least on Zoom. I know we have a few people watching on YouTube as well. So yeah, please go ahead and let me know your questions, and I will answer them.
Hello, Filippa. Can you hear me?
Let's see if any questions are coming in. No questions so far. Okay.
Can you hear me now, Filippa?
So if anyone has a question, please go ahead. Seems like nobody is having a question. Fabulous. Also, I mean, if you are missing any type of content that I can create for my YouTube channel, if there's anything specific you want to see. Oh, Michelle. Hello, I am trying to speak. I hear you now, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Oh, I'm
Wonderful.
sorry. I don't know
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. This is the first time I've joined, and I'm very, very keen to begin my healing. I joined a while ago, and I haven't done anything about the joining lessons online. So this is my first involvement. So I'm hoping to be inspired and encouraged to start joining in with the online classes.
Yes, great. I'm super happy that you came today. So do you have any specific questions or anything you want to share with us?
Really, I just want to start is it hyperpressive exercises? I feel I might be moving towards prolapse, and I want to do everything I can. I'm very fit and healthy and strong, but I am experiencing symptoms which suggest that I really need to work with my pelvic area. And so that's what I'm hoping to commence this evening.
So what type of symptoms?
Oh, when I laugh, when I cough, when I run, when I walk, leaking,
Yes.
which is really uncomfortable. And I know enough about the pelvic floor and the pelvic region to know that I can heal it myself.
Mm.
It doesn't need surgery. It just needs me to be more focused on, working internally. But I need guidance on that, so that's what I'm hoping will come from this
Yes.
group.
Yes. I mean, yes. And the thing is, when you start to explore this, you'll also see that different types of techniques or methods will be
Mm-hmm.
useful at different points in time. And
Mm.
it's a journey, and you will, through listening to your body and understanding it better, you will know when to apply what. And hypopressives is just such an amazing start because you cover so many areas, like,
Mm.
not only the physical work that you do, it's also the breathing, which makes you calm and regulates the nervous system and has a really good effect in the fascia. And again, like clears your mind and
Mm-hmm.
so on. So yeah, it's an amazing journey ahead of
Mm-hmm.
you. And yeah, I am really happy that you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you see me? I don't know if
I
my video
can't.
is working.
No, I
I
can't.
can't see. I don't think my video works. I have tried it, but at
Yeah.
least you can hear me and I can
Yes.
hear you. And I can
Yes.
see you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Great. Thank you. Okay. So if we have any other sharings or questions, I am doing this like on YouTube and on Zoom at the same time, which is new to me. So I'm going to see if I can find. Yeah, okay. So someone commented on YouTube, more exercise videos, please. Okay. Yes, sure. What type of exercises would you like to see there? And also, dear Filippa, could you please explain how do the pelvic organs move back to its original position? How do we know that positive changes can happen? Great, great question. So I think let me start with the first one. How do we know that positive changes can happen? I think that is actually very individual and what you choose to believe. For me, as soon as I understood that there were women before me that actually had healed prolapse, I had no doubt. Like I just knew that if they can do it, I can do it. We're the same. So it's like it's yeah, it's not that complicated. But of course it's complex. Like if you have never done this, it's not easy. It's like if you're like learning something completely new that you have never done before. It's the same thing. And a lot of, at least for women, I believe, a lot of the healing that needs to happen for women is things to bring up to the surface that we have kind of pushed down for many, many years, living in a society where there are so many different expectations on us, which isolates us from our own bodies. And healing happens from the body. Like the body will start to heal. It's always longing for healing. So from my perspective, I feel it's just very clear that we are able to heal. Of course, if you do not believe that you will heal, I don't think probably you can. But I think apart from like all the women who have healed pelvic floor dysfunctions like prolapse and incontinence and pain and all of this, there are also a lot of examples out there with people who have healed things that doctors told them they can't. So yeah, you of course need that to be anchored. You can't force that thought in your mind. You can't be like, okay, I'm going to believe I can heal. Let's do it. That's not going to work either. So it needs to have a kind of deep rooting. That's at least my own experience. So yeah, that was that question, how we know we can heal. And then yes, I can explain how do the pelvic organs move back to its original position. So a prolapse is actually not... So many people think that the organs are falling down, but they are not, according to a lot of new knowledge and also science, actually. So what happens is that in this very wonderful kind of system that we have in our pelvis, which is we have the pubic bone, the bone in front of your pelvis, and on top of the pubic bone is the bladder. And then we have the uterus and then the rectum. And they are all kind of resting toward the pubic bone. So they are not parallel like this or horizontal. It's more diagonal, that they are resting upon each other. And everything is in kind of perfect balance until something happens, usually a trauma. It can be a physical trauma, like a birth or an accident or something like that. It can also be just an emotional trauma. What happens then is that scar tissue forms or adhesions in the fascia, in the muscles, in the nerves. And this type of tissue, adhesions and scar tissue, are dense tissue that kind of just pulls everything out of alignment. So if we have a lot of like healthy tissue that looks like this in the pelvis, around the organs and in the pelvic floor and everything, and then suddenly some of this tissue is reacting this way, everything will be affected. So we need to start to work with that hard, dense tissue. And so, for example, hypopressives will definitely do that, because we start to activate slow muscle fibers that we cannot activate kind of consciously with our brains. We can't think, I'm going to activate these muscles. It happens because we open the rib cage when we breathe. So that's one example. And then another one would be to work like hands-on, hands-in on the scars. Not all women can do that. It's very challenging. For me, it was super challenging. I couldn't even think about putting my fingers in my vagina because I was just kind of froze. My whole system froze and I was panicking. So you can do it in very different ways, but the way that the organs and everything comes back into a perfect balance is to start to dissolve the stiffness, the scar tissue, and that type of tissue in the pelvic floor. And then everything will come more into the right place again, so to speak. So that would be my explanation today. And if you have any questions about that, please go ahead. So let's continue here. What do you recommend? Birth control in pelvic prolapse issues. I don't recommend birth control at all. I personally have never felt good when I took birth control pills. And I feel that what we want to try is rather to have a balanced hormonal system if we want a good pelvic and pelvic floor health. And especially for the pelvic floor, it's super connected to our hormones. And ladies who've been through menopause will know this, because things will shift when hormones shifts. And our pelvic floor it's not static. It does not look the same every single day. It depends on the day in our cycle. So our pelvic floor is more like a jellyfish moving around, and it's not like my arm or hand. It will look kind of the same every day. That's not the case with the pelvic floor. And this is due to hormonal changes. It can be due to sleep, what you ate, if you have a really stressful situation in life. You know, all of this will affect the pelvic floor. So I would like it to create harmony in the pelvic floor. I would also aim for harmony in the hormonal system in the body, naturally. Can I do hypopressive exercise if I have ulcerative, I don't know how to say this, ulcerative colitis? I don't know what that is. I need to check what it is in Swedish. I don't know all the medical terms in English. So yeah, I'll check and I'll get back on that one. Or if you want to explain that, you can do that in the chat. Do you think it will be useful with castor oil in the vagina, but without massage? Will it help anyway? Yes. So castor oil breaks down scar tissue. And in one of the videos I have on YouTube, I am promoting a thing, which I don't know what it's called in English. And someone commented and taught me the word that I forgot now, which is if you have kids and you want to give them medicine, you have like a plastic thing. It looks kind of the same as the thing as you give shots from, like a vaccine shot or whatever. That type of thing, but without a needle. So you can take that, you can take some castor oil and you lift this thing up so that castor oil comes inside, and then you can take it into your vagina when you are resting on pillows. So you have pillows underneath your hips so that you are leaning upwards so that the castor oil can sink in really far. And then you don't want to stand up, preferably. You want to just go to sleep. So it's kind of like a castor oil pack, so that the castor oil can really start to sink into the tissues and go like kind of penetrate the scar tissue and break it down. Of course, you need to do it continuously. It won't work with just doing it once. So yes, I highly recommend that too. And it's great if you can come really deep inside with it. It's hard to just use your hand. I mean, you can do that too, like on the vulva part, on the outside part of the vagina and the pelvic floor. That's also great. And you can, if you are sure castor oil is not creating any type of skin reaction for you, you can try to apply a little bit on your skin just the day before or something. And if you don't have any reaction, you can use a lot, like, and also like on the pubic bone, on the belly, on the hips, on the inside of the thighs. All these areas will kind of use the castor oil in the best possible way. So make sure you have like old towels around or something that you're not, you know, it will probably cause some staining. So just make sure that you're not, you don't really care if stains are there. Do you think tampon use may also contribute to a prolapse? Maybe. Yeah, you know, I really think that especially if like, so what I think now about menstruation is that the blood should really flow freely. That is what I believe. I've heard this kind of describing image for it. So if you have a bathtub and the bathtub is your uterus, where kind of the lining is coming toward having a menstruation, and you have this oh my God, I'm sorry, my English. You have this thing so the water can't come out from the bathtub. That's kind of similar to a tampon. And for the uterus health, the blood should come out like straight away. So we shouldn't stop it. So in that sense, yeah, I don't think tampon is great. Also, there are a lot of toxins and stuff in tampons. So I don't think it's really helpful, especially if you have this type of scar tissue or adhesions, or it may even create that. So yeah, I think it may be like a contributing reason for scar tissue and adhesions, which will cause prolapse. So for exercise videos, cardio with a pelvic floor disorder. Okay, I would actually suggest swimming. That is the best one, and it's kind of hard to do a YouTube video about it because then you are horizontal and you're also in water. And water not only takes the pressure off of the pelvic floor, but water calms your nervous system. You get this type of pressure on your body, and you are, you know, you're lighter, so to speak, or it's a different type of gravity working on your body. So I would definitely recommend that. How often shall I take it, the castor oil? Several times every week. For, you know, you could possibly do it every day, but maybe like good with breaks too. So yeah, but like there's no real limit. But I think it would be great with some additional touch to, like, not only just putting the oil there. If you could do some massage, or I prefer to say touch because it's not really massage. It's more like using your hand or your partner using their hands onto the tissue and see how the tissue is responding. So it's not just like pressing and creating pressure to increase blood circulation, but actually see if the tissue, what the tissue wants, so to speak. Okay, so maybe this is the word, syringe, that I was looking for with the castor oil. Is that right? Probably. More diet videos, please, for Indians. Okay, so is that vegetarian? I think it's hard with vegetarian food. That's why I'm not a vegetarian any longer. Is elliptical safe for prolapse? I need to check that word too. Okay, I'm gonna check those two words from that chat. In the meantime, I'm gonna go to the other chat and see what we have. Thank you. I am postmenopausal and know that my womb lining is in good condition. I am using HRT. So that's hormonal estrogen, I think. Topical or in tablets, I think that's how you use it. Thank you for the castor oil tip. I have organic castor oil. That's a good point. Organic, you want to use organic castor oil from a glass bottle. Yes. I have been using tampons to cope with leakage when I go for a long walk or run. This is really useful. Your English is wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. So, you know, if you feel it's helpful, so some women I know use a tampon to kind of hold everything up instead of like a pessary. And yeah, I mean, if you feel it's helpful for you, sure. I think what's important is to not kind of always try to cover up the symptoms. I need to put on a lamp here, I think. So I think if we cover up symptoms too much or for too long, we lose our guides on the healing journey, because the symptoms are our guide. They will tell us what is working, what is not working, and so on. So that's my only, like, yeah. And in addition, like, at least try to buy organic and good ones. Fantastic, as I have started to swim several times a week. That's great. I use progesterone orally and estrogen via patches. Yeah, I totally agree. And this is why I am keen to get started with my healing journey. Great. Perfect. Okay, so let me see if I can find this word now. If you have the patience to stay with me. Okay, so this ulcerative colitis, maybe. It's a chronic. I don't really like chronic because I don't think it is necessarily chronic, but this is the definition. It's an inflammation in the intestines. Okay. So what was the question? It's if you can do hypopressives. Yes, you can. So for everyone, I just always really recommend that you make sure you're not causing pain. So if you have some kind of pain in your stomach because of this, or in your belly, in your intestines, and for example, the apnea breath in hypopressives is causing you more pain, then don't do it. But that may be different from day to day or even hour to hour. So I can't say, you know, it's not a contraindication for sure. So a contraindication would be, for example, if you have had heart surgery, the apnea breath in the hypopressive technique is not recommended at all. That never. Because we take the pressure up toward the heart, and we don't want to cause pressure if there are scar tissue and vulnerable tissue around the heart. So, but for this one, I mean, hypopressives can actually help to create better circulation. It's really helpful for digestive issues and other issues connected to the stomach and the intestines and the internal organs. So yes, but be careful and listen to your body. But that's for everyone. We always, like, we never want to cause more pain. If it's painful, stop and modify. Yes, okay. And then I'm now going to check this other word. This is fun. You know, I feel I have met most things, but when I have new words, it's always, it's exciting to understand what they are. Mm-hmm. Okay, not sure I understand this. Let me see the question again. Is elliptical safe for prolapse? From the translation, I don't get the question. Can you use a different word or clarify it in some way so that I can answer? Can prolapse heal even after a year? Yes, yes, yes. I've been working with women who have had symptoms for 30 years, even 40, I think. So yes, time, I mean, then it may take a longer time, or it's a kind of more bumpy road to get there. But yes, I've seen great results in women with having issues for many years. Aha, a cross trainer. Okay, okay. So a cross trainer. Okay, I never say what is safe or not. It's not safe for the prolapse. It's more if it's safe for you as a person. So I would definitely, in the beginning of the healing journey and before you have felt the body, that your body is responding to the healing, or like it's starting to heal, you can see progress. Before that, I would avoid all exercises that causes more pressure toward the pelvic floor. So I would not go for a run. I would probably not do cross trainer. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I think it's like a machine. You do something like this. I'm just, yeah, I would be really, really careful with doing those kinds of things. But there's also a different factor, which is it something that you love so deeply to do, or that you feel so deep longing to do it? Maybe it's worth it. But I think that would be more like, you know, if you have just recently given birth and you want to be able to lift your kids. I usually tell women, you know, even though it, of course, it creates more strain and pressure toward the pelvic floor, probably for their mental and emotional health, it's better to lift the kid. And if they don't, the nervous system will be even more kind of stressed out because of that situation. So it's give and take. But again, I would be really careful in the beginning of the journey. I would be more cautious. And definitely, as much as I could, just take away any activity that creates more pressure down. I mean, just walking will create more pressure. But then you can balance it. You can take small kind of rests or breaks throughout the day. Just put a pillow under your hips and let gravity remove gravity from the equation for the pelvic floor, so that the pelvic floor can really just rest for a while. And if you can fit in just a couple of minutes here and there throughout the day, that will be super helpful. So I wouldn't say, you know, do this or that, or just give like a protocol the same to everyone, because it's different for everyone. And for me, for example, when I could do a plank, like the whole prolapse, when I had a prolapse, it was never heavier or more symptoms after. I could never correlate a plank creating worse symptoms. But the midwife I spoke to, she said, never do a plank again, kind of. So it's also very, very different from each person what they are able to do, if it causes more symptoms or not. And that's, you know, you need to try. And that's a part of the healing journey. And it's not the end of the world if the symptoms are kind of more bad afterwards. Then you just know you take a break from that for a while. And as you start to listen to your body and act based on the information that you get from the body, you will start to see results anyway. Okay. Yeah. So now we covered everything in both chats, I think. So now, I mean, you can continue to post questions if you wish. I am just going to finish off with sharing some information, if I can find it. No. Let me see. It's like, it's always something with the technical side of things, right? It's never just easy with that one, at least not for me. Okay, maybe now. Share. Yes. So I want to finish off with just sharing about this amazing revolutionary program that me and my team of pelvic health experts and pioneers, actually, they're all pioneers because they have created or found tools that was not here like 10 years back. So we're so fortunate to have access to all of this knowledge. And we have summarized it, or we have taken it all and put in a program over 12 weeks that we call Total Pelvic Freedom. And you can see here what it includes. It's, of course, personalized. And we have, during those 12 weeks, we have live saloons where we go really deep as a community into the work. And I read somewhere recently about community healing, which is, it's a phenomenon which, you know, in tribes and stuff, they use it kind of all the time. And it's not even necessary to have a group of people in the same situation, but just a group of people holding space for you to move through, for example, a trauma or a process, grief, like really big emotions, and you will heal. So I really, really believe in community healing, especially when it comes to these issues, because we're so isolated and we're so alone. And that will cause more trauma and stress to the nervous system. So I love this cohort-based program where we as a group of women sit down and really go deep into things. And we learn from each other. That's a really, really powerful tool. Just as we're doing in this call, actually, like just sharing this, what you all have shared tonight will be really helpful for a lot of women. So yeah, and then we have daily life classes. We have a full library so that you can work like anytime on demand when it suits you. Because of course the live sessions will be a specific time. And yeah, access to a complete support from the team. And it's not only trainers, actually, it's healers, I would say. Yeah, and then we have, it's of course a transformational program. You can also part pay in 3 installments. So this is Abby. We are working together. This is me. We are kind of the main hosts for the program. And yeah, I am going to share this link with you in the chat, I hope, if I find it, and you can read more. But and we're starting quite soon, the next cohort. It's just so amazing. And we've been doing this now for almost 4 years. So I just feel that these cohorts now, they get so many benefits from our learnings on how to do this online and really helping women to heal. So I am very proud, actually. I'm gonna post it in the chat if I succeed. Okay, and then we have another question, I think. So I will, I think did I post it? I think I posted it in both chats. How do I get started with my existing subscription? I am a yoga teacher and love everything you have said about the nervous system and breath work, etc. I understand. Thank you. Yeah. So if you already have, I know that some of you, of course, are members in Moonrise from before. And even if you are just a member of the YouTube channel, I always recommend with starting with hypopressives. And I don't fully teach that, of course, on YouTube. So I'm sorry, I'm just going to turn off this, sharing. So just getting started with hypopressives. And the main thing is to work 10 minutes every day consistently. And the general recommendation is 3 to 6 months, but we see results for women even after 7, 8 months, like the first positive effects for some. It's, people are eager, of course, and I understand that you don't want to have these symptoms. So it's very natural that you want fast results. And this work really demands dedication. So I would start the hypopressives routine and really have it firmly into your daily life, like in this kind of the spine, in your spine. Like you just know you do it the same time every morning or every day. You have a good routine. You can start to also use the method to understand how to use or what to do each day. So maybe one day you can't do the apnea, or one day you are too tired to stand up to do the standing poses. So then you lay down and then you skip the apnea. Like when you can start to adjust based on your needs, that's when you start to become more advanced. And then when you have that routine, when you can modify based on your own needs, then I would go for the next method that awakes your curiosity the most. Because that's where probably you will find something that is really what you are looking for. And sometimes also we feel we want to add on with some yoga or kind of strengthening exercise or Pilates, like the body's just longing for like a normal exercise that we used to do. So then add in that, go for what the body is longing for. But the main thing is to keep the consistency of 10 minutes hypopressives every day in the start. that is how I would go about it. So yeah, okay, I think that's it. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, and I really hope to see you somewhere in the Moonrise world soon again. Of course, you can always send us an email, so support@moonrise.health, and we will do our best to help you. So feel free to do that. And I also had one more chat here. I want to join your program, but your country currency is change. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds wonderful that you want to join. If you have any problems regarding payment or currency, please send an email to support@moonrise.health. I'm going to write it in the chat too. Moonrise. That's the best way and the fastest way for us to help you. So yeah, okay. Wonderful ladies. Thank you so much for